Hello, we are Group 5, and we are working on the topic, how does Cantonese contribute on preserving ancient words and pronunciation? And this is our agenda. Among the 7 Chinese dialects, Cantonese has preserved the most ancient words and phonology. But why does this happen? This is related to the founding of Cantonese. The ancestor of Cantonese was the Putonghua used by the tribes led by Yellow Emperor Wang Dai in ancient Zhongyuan, and it is called Ayin. In spring and autumn period, Ayin was used as official language in communications and academic exchange in all kingdoms. As in many kingdoms, there are many different dialects, and they have chosen Ayin as the official language. And you may wonder, does this mean Cantonese is not invented in the Lingnan region? And the answer is yes. In Qin dynasty, the status of Ayin was rising thanks to Qin Shi Huang's policy, and 500,000 of Zhongyuan people was sent to Lingnan because Qin has successfully invaded the Lingnan region. And before the immigration of Zhongyuan people, the population in Lingnan was only 90,000. And these Zhongyuan people who used Ayin to communicate has become the majority, as they had changed the language usage in the Lingnan region. And the popularity of Ayin started declining thanks to the chaotic political status in Zhongyuan, as there are wars and change in dynasty, while Ayin was kept in Lingnan region and transformed to today's Cantonese. And the reasons why there are preservation of ancient words in Cantonese is due to the social movement. They have used Ayin, and it has finally transformed to today's Cantonese.
And now we'll talk about preservation of ancient words, consonants and finals. For ancient Chinese language, there's no soft lip sounds. However, the heavy lip sounds are preserved by Cantonese. In Mandarin, this is pronounced as wei, wei, and in Cantonese is mei, mei. Wen, wen versus man, man. Wan, wan versus man, man. As you can hear and see, mei, man, man, they are all heavy lip sounds. And for the Asian Chinese language, there are some nasal consonants, 鼻音聲母, like ng, ng. However, these nasal consonants disappeared in the modern Chinese language, like Mandarin. And in Cantonese, they are preserved, like mok du, mok du. But now, ngao gi, ngao gi. All the words in red have the nasal consonants preserved. And for the Chinese finals, wan mo. In the modern Chinese language, many Asian words like gin, kai, quan has experienced palatalization. G, k, h has been merged with some small finals, resulting the consonants of ji, qi, xi. However, these finals are preserved by Cantonese as well. For example, gat, k, hai. And in the Asian Chinese language, there are entering tone finals, 入聲韻尾, like here. Only Chinese can preserve these finals completely, like 七, 急, 質, 不, 屋, 亦. Last but not least, Cantonese is also capable of preserving 3 Yuanshan finals, 陽聲韻尾, ing, from the ancient Chinese language completely, like 因, 君, 蘭, 真, 陰, 三, 南, 針, and also 興, 勁.
And now, I will introduce the preservation of ancient phonology via Cantonese tones. There are 9 tones in Cantonese: 陰平、陽平、陰上、陽去、陽上、陰去、陽去、陰入、中入同埋陽入 which are level, rising, departing, and entering. Compared with other Chinese dialects, Cantonese has relatively preserved most of the tones of Qiyuan, Qitwen, which was one of the oldest rhyme dictionary in China. For instance, entering tone, 入聲, is disappeared in other Chinese language, such as Mandarin. The examples of 入聲 in Cantonese are na, zi, and heck. You can see that they are both end with p, t, or k. And Cantonese also preserved the dark level and light level from the ancient tones, 陰平 and 陽平. In many modern Chinese language, such as 普通話, level tone are categorized into dark level and light level by its initial tone. Voiced, 濁音, are categorized as light level, whereas voiceless, 清音, are categorized as dark level. Cantonese has preserved the traditional 4 tones: level, rising, departing, and entering, 平上去入, whereas other Chinese language have a trend of categorizing dark level and light level and disusage of entering. There are one sentence that saying 平分陰陽，入聲消失 is the trend of other Chinese language, whereas Cantonese could keep it. And this table could show that the difference between Cantonese and 普通话 in tones.
After discussing the preservation of Asian philology, I'll discuss the preservation of Asian words. Nowadays, we don't quote any sentence from Asian poetry because the words are too pedantic and weird to use. For example, if a friend visits you, you don't say 有朋自遠方來，不亦樂乎 to them. However, have you recognized that we use a lot of Asian words and sentence structure casually? Actually, Cantonese preserve the Asian words and sentence structure in 4 different aspects. Now, let's talk about the conjunction first. If we want to say the word also, in Mandarin we will say 也是, 也就是. In Cantonese, we will say 亦係, 亦即係, 亦, which is a Asian words commonly used. There are also other examples, such as in Cantonese, we say 唯獨係 instead of 只是, 因由 instead of 原因. And let's talk about the adverbs. In Cantonese, we use a lot of 之, which is a Asian word that commonly used in poetry. For example, if we want to say finally, we will say 卒之 instead of 終於, 然之後 instead of 然後. These words are quaint and exude the unique flavor of Asian words. Besides that, Cantonese also inherit the Asian sentence structure in adjectivative postposition and adverbial postposition. For adjective, in Mandarin, adjective is placed in front of the head. For example, 公雞, which means the male chicken cock. 公 is an adjective and placed in front of the head, 雞. In Asian Chinese, the adjective is placed after the head. For example, 馬之千里者, which means a horse which can run 1,000 miles. 千里者is the adjective and placed after the head, 馬. In Cantonese, there are also some words the adjective is put after the head. For example, 九公, 九乸. 公, 乸 are the adjective and placed after the head, 九. And other examples such as 人客, 飯盒, 底下. In addition, for adverbial, in Mandarin, adverbial placed between the subject and predicate, or in front of the sentence. For example, 我刚刚吃饱了. 刚刚 is the adverbial and placed between the subject 我 and the predicate 吃饱了. Another example is 在成大他们见了面. 在成大 is the adverbial and placed in front of the sentence. And in Asian Chinese, adverbial placed in the back of the sentence. For example, 将军占河北. 河北 is an adverbial to express the place, and it is placed in the end of the sentence. And in Cantonese, some adverbial placed in the end of the sentence as well. For example, 你食先唔該晒. 先晒 are the adverbial and placed in the end of the sentence. And this sentence structure is more similar with the Asian Chinese rather than the modern Chinese. And it proves that the Cantonese inherits the Asian sentence structure and Asian words.
Now I would like to further explain how the modern Cantonese preserve the Chinese ancient words. First one I would like to talk about is the ancient Chinese monosyllabic words. For example, like gang in Cantonese, but in Mandarin we will not say gang, instead we will say 脖子. In ancient essay, the word gang is already exists. For example, like 頸血錢大王 from 廉頗論相如列傳. There are also some more examples, which is the ancient Chinese monosyllabic words. For example, like 睇 from 楚辭山鬼, 既含涕兮幼兒笑. In here, the meaning 含涕 is mean 含情脈脈咁望. So, but in Mandarin, we will not say 睇, instead we say 看. And one more example, 食 we will say 食飯食生果, but in Mandarin we say 吃飯吃水果. In ancient Chinese, there is an essay, 六國論, 吾恐秦人食之不得下咽也. The meaning is the Qin people cannot eat those another country. And these words has been changed to another monosyllabic words or to convert into two-syllable words in the Mandarin, while Cantonese has preserved the original pronunciation and the meaning more completely. And next, I want to focus on the noun prefix "r". In terms of word formation, Cantonese is less of the and zhi as noun suffix, and instead we usually use noun prefix "r". For example, like we will say 阿仔、阿女, and in Cantonese, the prefix "r" is already exists in ancient Chinese words actually. For example, like the poet we are all very familiar, the 木蘭辭. In the almost last of the poet, there is a sentence called 阿姊問妹來. 阿姊 in this case is mean sister. Also, the Cantonese has preserved some ancient written language, but instead we will say it as a spoken Cantonese language. For example, like 幾時, we will say 我哋聽日幾時見啊? But we will not say 幾時 in Mandarin, we will say 什麼時候. And there is some example here. For example, like the poet we also very familiar, 明月幾時有，把酒問青天，放蘇軾水調歌頭. 明月幾時有, here's the meaning is when. And there's another words we very often use, 抑或. In Mandarin we will not say 抑或, but we say 或是或者. Finally, I want to talk about the interjection in Cantonese. Actually, I think some interjection in Cantonese is very similar with the ancient Chinese interjection. For example, I have two examples. For example, like 切 in ancient Chinese, it is expressing the concern and worrying, and with a negative meaning. For example, like 詩說敗韓愈. 車夫思道之不全也久矣. Here, the 車夫 is expressing the worry and kind of expressing some sadness. In Cantonese, although the meaning is slightly different, but I believe they are with same original. For example, like we always say 車使乜驚啊, maybe to express some negative meaning. And another example is 醫. We'll use it to express grief or sign. In ancient Chinese, there is an essay, 愛蓮雪敗周敦頤, 伊谷之外圖後鮮有文矣. Here is expressing the sadness of people did not like this kind of flower anymore. In modern spoken Cantonese language, we'll also use this kind of interjection. For example, like 咦好醜怪啊. Also, we are expressing some sign or sadness. Also, 咦 can be expressed as the surprising emotion in ancient Chinese essay. For example, like 儒林外史, there's a sentence, 咦哪裏來的這位太太, which means, oh, where these people come from. Also, in modern spoken language Cantonese, we also use 咦 as the interjection of expressing surprise. For example, like 咦點解嘅? 咦好靚啊. So we can see that actually the interjection of Cantonese and ancient Chinese is quite similar.